we have the great and unique Oneness Sakara, and we're going to be talking about a topic of her choice, which is about natural hair and beauty as a tool. Oh, it's she is her word. It's juicy. It's juicy. I'm gonna try and not get cancelled by saying I might do, but we'll see how this goes. We're gonna riff on a topic of her choice, which is natural hair and beauty as an empowerment tool for men, women, and children of African and African Caribbean descent. Black people, you may choose. So, Queen, welcome.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask, was there any particular incident, event, celebrity beef, nonsense, effery that triggered this, or is this an ongoing
It's
experience?
as a Black woman, it is an ongoing experience.
So,
I could conjecture that even at, I don't know, 1 month old, somebody looked at my hair and my hair type and had an opinion or a judgment. This is right. This is so
1 month.
I would say even I might even been before, right? And it's not, and this is not pointing a finger at anyone in particular. It's just something that is so normalized as part of our experience, you know. And so, you know, I've been on my own hair journey. I mean, even the fact that we call it natural hair. So what's the other hair? Unnatural hair. Like what
It's,
are we
exactly.
what are we saying? Like that it's even got a name, that it's not just hair. Do you know what I mean? But
Yes.
it's a particular type of hair that people would say that the hair that the Most High gave me that comes out of my scalp, like, oh, you've got natural hair. Like we've all got natural hair, haven't we?
Yes.
Anyway, so
Mix up.
As you can tell, it's something that I'm passionate about, right? And also, it is. I think the thing that really kind of makes me want to be active in this area is like when you see little children, and little children think there's something wrong with them. There's something wrong because their hair is not like Barbie, even though there's, you know, now there's brown Barbies, but the hair might not even be like the brown Barbie. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
They feel like there's something like innate, and I don't think that any child should ever have to feel like there's something wrong with how they were made and how they were created. Like it's crazy, you know? And so, you know, I've gone through my own journey with that as a child into adulthood. And then sometimes you are in circles where people have also gone through their journeys. So you take it for granted that everybody feels cool about their hair now, you know? And then you come out from under your little rock and bubble and you realize, no, children are still getting dashed out of school, told that their hair is not appropriate. People are still being told at work that their hair is not appropriate. People's boyfriends are telling them that their hair stand up. Like it's still happening. People's scalps are still being damaged because they're putting things in that's bad so that their hair could look like not like their hair. Do you know what I mean? And this isn't, and I say this all with love and with sensitivity, because this is not an attack on Black women, because this is also an issue that has been weaponized against Black women, and they're like causing division, and you know, who's wearing weave, the woman being embarrassed because she's got weaves on her head, this one being embarrassed because of all of that, like done, fire bun, like finished, that I could go on, that not go on again, you know. And so I am passionate, as you can hear, about us loving ourselves and knowing how amazing and great and beautiful we are. Every part of us is.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There isn't a bad hair day.
Yes.
It's like none, like all of this stuff, like it's just like, you know,
yes.
Yeah. So
It's no, I like the truth of it, because it's a voice of reason, and it's reflected in, I mean, what are we, nearly 8 billion, nearly, counting globally, and it's like the majority, you know, and they're pretending there's a reverse reality when it is what it is. You've just reminded me, and I want to actually give, because I like brainstorming this, and you've just made me think to spontaneously do a timeline. I'm going to give a quick timeline, and we're going to riff from that.
Okay.
So I'm now trying to think of, you said hair journey. So let's do a hair journey via timeline. So
Okay.
bear with me, I had to close my eyes to remember and structure my thoughts. So Pekin, Nigeria, born in Nigeria, going to school, and it was just short hair, short afro, uniform, everything. Fast forward, I think we had a holy communion, our communion service, and 5 of us looked like the brides of Christ. Everyone was there. We were at a Sheraton hotel. It was just good there to be with family. Sweltering heat, half Agbada, aunties in Gele, government people, heat, perm. I remember a perm. Jerry curl. Maybe 8. Maybe 8 years old. All of us emigrating to UK. Hair up. Own hair up in a bun. Because I remember looking like tea cozy. It was cold, but hair up. Go to school. Then going to Liberia. Still the same. Coup d'etat, going back home to Nigeria. Still the same twists. And do you know the thread?
Yes.
Our
Yes.
hair would be threaded, spikes, threaded, kept the hair. Original maintenance, original keep, protective hairstyle. Coming back to the UK, I'm sure the hair was swept back. You see where I'm going with this? Depending where you are, which country, which society. I'm trying to think of the awful school photos. Was it shell suit time? No, it was still picnic. Hair, no, threaded. It was threaded, still down. Going back to Niger, same. Fast forward, can't remember too much. I think it was hair. So Ma working hard, keeping all of us. This is 5 of us, by the way, working very hard, maintaining. So it was maintenance. Looking good. I miss those style, man. I miss my hair being threaded. The pain, but I loved it. It held, as you do for the week. Go, it held. Then I can't remember too much, but being taken to the salon to have my hair relaxed for the first time. I remember there are nice people, but I'm sure they said it's better to relax it. I don't remember being part of this conversation, by the way. Who's going to be listening to me? The elders are talking. It was done. And you know when you're looking in the mirror and someone's had their hair done, and you know those people that say thank you while they're crying on the inside. It was that. Had my hair relaxed for a long time. Fast forward, different styles. Realizing now, with my name, government name. It's my Caucasian father. He raised me, loving family, but actually with the name is how I got work. I'm just realizing now, is how you get work. Then
Okay.
it's the intentions are there. The best intentions are there. As you know, our families, you face books, you work hard, it's survival. I understand now. And they're doing their best. And then we grow up and evolve. And then what's happened? Fast forward, go through different styles, go to a kind of thing. Afro, find myself. It's out, it's there. I'm very low maintenance anyway. So me, I'm happy with my afro. And it was out there and it was there and it was just like, this is mine now. Do the whole kind of thing. And then the irony of getting locks, which I've cut now, they used to be down to my back. And I'm not Rastafari, but I do get stopped a lot. But the main reason, because people don't ask, I would tell them it was so I didn't have to do anything so I can focus on raising our child. Something less to think about. I miss my afro, but I don't regret these. So of course, project all your assumptions onto me. Me, I exceed them. I rise above them. Project your assumptions. Project your stereotypes. It doesn't apply to me. I exceed your expectations. I carry the village in my blood. I will scatter you if you even try. I will just scatter you verbally, physically. You return to your maker. But the ones who ask and are respectful, I tell. But me myself, I had to go on to one couple who had locks, and it was the afterthought for a moment of stillness, dropping her off to school, husband at work. Ah, did I disrespect the Rastafari community by taking locks when I'm not Rastafari? Do you see? Timeline, the short version of the timeline. Any feedback and welcome.
Oh my God, there's so many things in there that I identified with. Even like the thoughtfulness of going, oh, actually, have I done something disrespectful to a group of people?
Honestly.
I think that even though I do not think you did, but I think that there's power in that level of acknowledgement, because I think that, like, when I see Rastas, I see the elder Rastas, I know that their Locks journey was not the same as my Locks journey. I know that they went through getting locked up and dashed out of their yard, and certain places in the Caribbean, you couldn't ride bus if you had locks on your head. You couldn't get certain, like, even now, depending on your locks, you know, jobs, employment, education, like, it's a whole thing, you know. And Rastafari stood in their truth and in their liberty and in their spirituality, irrespective of the external consequences, because of they believed in what they believed in. You know, this is where I heard about, you know, my family, in terms of immediately, were from the Caribbean, and so I heard about Africa, our motherland, through Rastafari. And they were the ones who were speaking about our roots and being proud of our roots. And thus, they showed their actual roots through growing roots from their scalp, in relation to, you know, our cultural and spiritual liberation and identity. So I think it is, we do have to bow to Rastafari, because of the I journey, we are able to now have locks, locks, brother locks, pick me locks, whatever you want to call them, right? And go and be a barrister and be whatever, with our locks, where people literally, like, were full on persecuted, trying to do the things how many years ago, you know? And so I don't think we can talk about locks and talk about I'd even say the natural hair movement without talking about its cultural, spiritual, and political significance. You know, so there's just certain things that you just have to hail them up. Do you know what I mean? You can't not talk about the Black Power era and the Black Panthers and you know the civil rights, you know that because once again it was like, no, what, my hair grows up and out. This is how I'm wearing my hair. Like,
exactly.
What are you talking about? You know, and especially if you look, you know, anyone who's seen the Malcolm X movie will remember that scene where he's literally bunning out of his scalp for his hair to look like white men's hair. You know, but literally not just like, oh, he went to the salon and they did something with a curling iron. No, like he took a dangerous like chemical compound and slapped it on his scalp. And his body signaled him by burning.
And it burns.
You know? Yeah. And
that lie burns. Then, literally.
Right. So when you were talking about the first time relaxing your hair, I'm sure I felt my face don't lie in it. So my face makes some sort of contortion, not for the judgment of your hair being straightened, but because I think we're of similar ages, that I know that what was being put on your head at that time as a young person was not good for your scalp and probably didn't feel good either. You know, when I think back to, you know, we're talking about hair journey and I'm talking about like relaxing, the years of relaxing, chemically straightening my hair, it was not strange to have a scab in your head.
Yes.
Scab is when you get a cut, a wound, something that's not supposed to happen, and it's part of the healing process. Why was I doing something that was giving me scabs in my, like I was creating wounds in my head? Like, why was I doing it?
Don't even make me laugh, because the learning that we have gone through, sometimes I don't understand terminology. Something I heard, like cognitive dissonance, don't understand it, looked it up, it doesn't always retain. My memory is long, photographic, but some definitions you learn in conversation, not in definition.
That's a great example.
For me,
that's a great example of cognitive dissonance.
We follow through, and it's only exactly the remembrance of it, the pain, but it's just like, it's okay, it's what's all done. Not even that in the salon, the home. Do it in the home. The way it was sold, you're not even selling books. The way you're just selling lie. The lie upon lie in symbolic sense as well. I'm remembering everything now. It's just like,
yeah, it was a whole it was a whole situation. And the thing is, I don't know what it's like now, right? So I've been out of the relaxer game for, I don't know, 25 years, I'm gonna say. Right?
I think mine's about 14, 15
right?
or 15 years, yeah.
And so I don't, and I say this to say I don't know what they're like now. Right?
Probably worse.
Yeah, like maybe now they're made out of some natural marshmallow and it doesn't hurt and it's good for your brain. I don't know. I actually don't know, because I haven't done it to my head and I haven't done it to anyone else's head in such a long time. You know, so I don't know. I can't speak to now in that.
I'm gonna look it up.
But it's the internet, right? But like at the time, and it's okay. So if we're talking hair journey, right? I'm gonna try and make it quick. So, naught to, you know, the school, right?
Yeah.
You have your hair in cane rolls, right? And
yes,
the staple was cane rolls,
yes,
and what we called doo-doo plaits, right? And I'm actually thinking now, well, of course nobody wanted doo-doo plaits, did they? Did you? Like, it's called doo-doo plaits. Like,
Yes.
do you see what I mean? And like,
Yes.
in some places, doo-doo has a different meaning, but in Tottenham, London, England, doo-doo was doo-doo.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so now to think, of course we didn't want doo-doo plaits when our parents were going to do the plaits, and then you go to school and people tell you got doo-doo plaits. Of course didn't want it, right?
Yeah.
Now, and then in the midst of it, same as you, I was inducted into Catholicism at a young age. So had the first Holy Communion, dress up like bride, and I had braids and beads.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Yeah.
classic.
But the top was curly.
Yes.
Yeah, but all the sides were braided, and I thought
let's have a moment of recalling that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. I thought I was I'll find the picture. I thought I was it, and then some, right? I wasn't even bothered about the actual communion. I was like, whatever. But I looked like, and you know what? I realized that. So anyway, so that was mainly. So sometimes I had extensions, sometimes I have my own hair. I remember having my own hair, like in little micro, what would be now called micro braids as well.
Yes.
That was really fun. I think the biggest thing in that time span was the idea of shrinkage, which is actually something I didn't care that much about, but I would get in trouble for because I wasn't taking care of my hair. Do you know what I mean? So there you go, and you wet up your hair and make it shrink and look how nice you did it and whatever, right? But I didn't have any behavior then. So that just was what it was, right? I wasn't really concerned about.
That's it.
Right?
That's it.
And then I got to about 11 and I went to secondary school. And that is when I wanted to relax my hair. Yeah, like no long thing. Some people came to school, they already had their hair relaxed, etc. And I, in my perception, very interesting thing, I thought that I looked like a child. And that relaxing my hair would make me look more mature. And that was because I had very little representation of Black women at the time wearing their hair in their natural state.
There you go.
So my association with maturity was chemically processed hair or straightened hair or something other than what our hair normally looks like, because the only people that I saw like that were children. So it was as much about wanting the texture of my hair changed as thinking that it was a rites of passage of growing up.
Yeah.
That you don't have that hair when you're mature.
Yes.
So that was, and then once and my mum didn't want me to do it as well. Mum did not want me to relax my hair. It was an auntie that I got to persuade my mum to let me do it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. She didn't actually want me to do it. So, mum was ahead of the game, actually, and then got peer pressured.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But from there, the floodgates opened. I did everything. I crimped, I curled, I dyed. I was somebody who, I can show you pictures. I was about hair, and I would do my hair, and I would do my friend's hair, and we would all. It was definitely a part of, which I think is something that in our culture has retained. It was definitely a time of bonding and togetherness and celebration and all of that. Like that was still in there. It was sister doing your sister's hair and doing your friend's hair and doing all of and that is something that when you look at Ice Cube, is it Ice Cube? Yeah, Ice Cube. He did barbershop and beauty shop, right? And people wonder like why this hair thing so important and to African communities, and kind of reduce it to a shallowness about identity, where actually like hair and hair care is a really important time, because it's not just about hair.
Yes.
So much
of very key.
Yeah, so much of what's about here is actually not about here, you know? And that's why there are certain conversations that would only be had in a barber's chair.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
So I also acknowledge the spirit that came through, even though it may have been surrounded by dysfunction. You know?
It is. Sorry, go on.
No, go for it.
No, it's. I'm thinking about that. First of all, yes, just take you back to the like cane roll and stuff like that. The rites of passage that's involved, from kind of like raised birth but raised in village, and being raised in like the compounds, different family members, and then Ma looking after me. But it's also like the rituals being passed on in our bloodlines. It doesn't have to be spoken. It's the language within bloodline being passed on. So that ritual and bonding that you talk about is so important. I do that now with my daughter and doing her hair, but also it's about super hair sensitivity that her and some of her classmates had. Just touch, but it's just worked out how it's meant to work out. She's got Niger tough hair, she's got Jamaican tough hair, and Antigua, and it's like that. So it naturally wanted to do that. It's rooted. We love the feeling of the hair. It's a head massage. It's worked how it's meant to work. Then, as you said, it kind of goes into this. It's not anyone's fault in terms of us living life super modern convenience, and we're sold a nightmare packaged in a dream. We're caught up in all of that. What are we showing all the time? I mean, I'm trying to think. Was it like Claire Huxtable Cosby Show? Or, the silky hair, the silky shine. Shine. You're glowing. You're this. You're work ready. You're this ready. It's that kind of stuff.
It was bad. The propaganda,
Yeah.
the anti, like I guess I'll go straight to the end of the race where I've gone the end of the, as in running race, the anti Africanness that we were sold. And so it wasn't just our hair, it was anything that was associated with Africanness in our features was sold as being wrong and bad, and yes, Africa is diverse and all of it, but it's like, yes, there's a more African nose and there's a more European nose, right? So those with particularly, like my lovely little broad nose, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or thicker lips or darker colored skin or
Yes.
bigger eyes, whatever it was, that you were told that was negative. And things that were in closer proximity to how white people looked and whiteness was sold to us as being better.
Yes.
Of course, there's flips in that script when we fast forward to now, because the same big bottom that you're buying from the surgeon or buying batty knickers from high street stores was what people were getting cussed and beat for and whatever big batty and all the rest of it, right? Lips.
Yes.
I was watching something the other day, not calling out anyone, I was watching on Netflix, and I was so distracted by this white lady's lips because you could see that she had been pumped.
Yes.
And so like I kept being distracted from the plot because I was looking at her mouth,
Yes.
But it's the same, to emulate the same mouth that we were told our lips were too big and we didn't fit the standard of beauty and etc etc etc. And so hair was part of that that journey, and a big part because we've said how much hair has meant in African culture, spiritually, socially, there's so many layers to it. So there's the culture around the hair, right?
In the hair, in the hairstyles. I love that. Yes.
So when we see certain things today that people might say, oh, it's ghetto, it's this, it's that, and the other, because someone has, like, you know, scribed their name, tagged their name in the shaving of their hair. It's not
What's
the
your
first
own?
time you've done that.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and I've seen so creative, like I've got a cousin and she could all cane roll your name in your head and all kind of things. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And it's like it's so hair has always been this like amazing expression, you know, and I don't want us to ever dampen down that creativity. I just don't want anyone, or let me not speak in what I don't want. What I would love is for everybody to love what comes out of their scalp, and then you do what you want, you
Yes,
know,
exactly.
but not to think that there is like this is, because it's not just about not loving your hair texture, it's connected to an ideology, a framework, and a system that says that you are inferior, that something is wrong with you, therefore it is justified for you to be treated less than.
That's so exactly.
And that's the issue, because sometimes, like, when we speak about these things, it seems like something that's superficial. Why is that a big deal? But especially when you witness it, and you witness, you know, as parents, as aunties, as you know, our community adults, when you witness the children and you witness how that makes them feel,
yes,
you see a different reality into something that's supposed to be superficial.
there's so many things that I could share that people have just the disrespect from, you know, relatives, in-laws, strangers, even that don't even what's it called, handle their children just because of a certain hairstyle, and they thought you weren't paying attention. The look that's been given, death stare, soon scatters them, because it's just it's a warrant for someone said years ago, I wish I could give them credit, I can't remember who it was, but it was enabling your own extinction. So you're exactly right in terms of when you talk about the roots, when you're talking about, you know, amazing warriors. One really quick things. Someone, why I always try and just gently, with a friendly, gently remind some people there's a reason why they're not. We don't say dreadlocks. You know, there were. You know, it was used to everything that you mentioned earlier. It's just locks. And then there's others. There was something about, you know, the bonding, which, as you mentioned, I love that because I just feeling the roots of my hair, the feeling, the peace that I've got my inner peace, the feeling of actually feeling the texture of it, how it looks, like you said, like nature, how it looks like the roots of nature and trees and things like that. I sometimes catch our daughter just, she comes beside me and she's just feeling. I was like, oh, okay, just feeling. I was like, okay. And then explain to her. Then doing her hair, the trust that's come to gently go at her pace for her journey, that extreme sensitivity. And I said, what does it feel like when she was younger? Fire, just to try and go near her hair, just to try. So we give time. The trust now, she's doing it. It's just relaxing, reading a book and doing it. Not proper interlocking yet, just the hand palm roll when she's ready, like every week, explaining to her why. I'm not religious, I'm spiritual, but I keep thinking of Samson and Delilah. That kind of thing, showing the references, it is our essence. So I love what you've been saying. It's a really beautiful thing, and food for thought and stuff like that. I wanted to ask you before we wrap up, when you say about as a tool for empowerment for Black men, women, and children, what would you say is the tool for empowerment? The main thing that comes to mind.
When you see yourself reflected in all of your fullness, it reminds you of your freedom. Because for so long we've had this experience of not being free to be ourselves, and in order to have food, clothes, shelter, education, opportunities, things that are basic rights for everyone, we've had to conform and somehow not fully either speak a certain way, walk a certain way, talk a certain way, not be too loud, not be too intelligent, not be too silly, not be too, like, just not being able to be, like, there has to be some sort of rule on your identity for you to be accepted and acceptable. And so when you see something which had been oppressed for so long, either you had to shave it all off so you could you know, and all the things that we've spoken about, right?
My heart when I see that, but yeah.
Right, all of those things, and actually now you just see, like, the just the beauty coming out of the scalp, the freedom of the hair to be what it is and not be, so it becomes normalized. So that's not like something different, like, why is their hair like that? Like that, what? Their hair is hair. Like, their hair is as, so in our conceptualization, our hair, our tightly coiled hair is seen as normal and as beautiful as what the Barbie's hair looks like.
Yeah.
You know, the straight hair, reflective hair, what that looks like, you know? And so that is empowering, because you get to be, like, being oneself unapologetically is powerful. And one thing that does not apologize is black, curly, coily textures hair is unapologetic. And so that is where I see the empowerment and it as a tool for empowerment.
Palm to heart. Thank you, Obulu. Thank you so much. That's beautiful. And what's it called? There's amazing, exciting things in the project I can't talk about, but will be shared. And please connect with Oneness. And peace out, everybody. Heed her words. Mwah. Bye, Queen. Bye, everyone.
Bye.